Moving ahead to the next example, there is the fourth one. He dash a picture. Correct form of to be he sorry he is third person singular, and so we will put is with it. So he is draw plus ing form is drawing. He is drawing a picture. We is first person singular, therefore we'll use are with it. We are learning our lessons. She is not cooking food. No, now children, although this is a negative sentence, but they have already given not, so we will not add another not to it, and so we will just fill here she is not cooking. Okay. Next affirmative sentence. I am. I am writing a letter. Moving ahead to our next type of tense, that is the present perfect tense. A present perfect tense represents an action or situation that started in the past and continues in the present. So, some action which has started in the past but it is still continuing in the present. A past experience. So, a present perfect tense is used when we are talking about a past experience. We have met before, or it is and for expressing this idea or this concept of present perfect tense, we use adverbs like for, since, just, never, ever, yet, and some expressions like today, recently, this morning. Okay. These all these things will be very clear to you when we consider the examples. Now the rule for this past present perfect tense is has or have plus past participle form of the verb, that is the ed form of the verb. So we will put have or has plus ed form of the verb. Now let us see a few examples. Now children, let us see the rule. When do we use have and when do we use has? Just a minute. Yes. We use has with he or she, that is third person singular. And rest everywhere other than he and she, we will generally use have. Okay. Now remember this rule that has will be used with he and she, that is third person singular, and rest all the places we will use have. Let us see the examples. I will use have. Finish, past tense of finish or ed form of finish is finished. So I have finished my homework. Now this is a negative sentence which I didn't see earlier. So it being a negative sentence, I will have to add just a minute. Yes. I have negative sentence. So not, and then ed form with this past participle of the verb finish is finished. So it is I have not finished my homework. With he we use has, so it will be he has, and past tense of stood or ed form is past participle of stand is stood. So it will be he has stood first in class. Now this is an interrogative sentence and we have to use the correct form of sell. Uh, Past participle of sell is sold. Okay, and with they we will use have. Sorry, with you we will use have, because only have will sorry has will be used with only he and she. So here with you we are going to use have. So it being an interrogative sentence, we will use have you sell, past tense or past participle of sell is sold. Have you sold your scooter? Next sentence, they again have, and then past participle of defeat is defeated. They have defeated their army. By interrogative sentence, it is she, so we will use has. Has she and past participle of buy is bought. B-O-U-G-H-T, bought. Has she bought a car? Next sentence, we have, and past tense of win is won. We have won the match. The peon, negative sentence we have to make with correct form of ring. Again he or she, the peon is the noun used for the peon, like the instead of he, like if we have to substitute it with the pronoun it will be he, and so with the peon we will write has. The peon has, it's a negative, so we will write first not. The peon has not, and ring, past tense of ring is rung. So the peon has not rung the bell. The last example, we we will use have with it. So we have, past tense or ed form, or rather past participle of do is done. So it will be we have done our duty. Moving ahead to our next type of tense, that is present perfect continuous tense. Now children, present perfect continuous tense shows that something started in the past and is continuing in the present. Now the rule for this is has or have. When to use has and when to use have, that we have seen in the last examples and last type. With that we will add been and the present participle of the verb, that is the ing form of the verb. Means it will be has plus have, or like has been doing, have been doing, that type of, like has been learning or have been teaching, that type of sentences we will make from that type of sentences will be included rather in present perfect continuous tense. Let us move ahead and see a few examples. Now, it, with it we will use has. It has been rain, ing form, raining. It has been raining since the morning. Now children, these are the words which I told you, that since, for, then again here also for. So this shows a continuity. The words like since and for show the continuity, like it is still continuing since this period. So now consider the next example. She again has been, she has been suffering. She has been suffering from fever for a week. Means last week, last entire week she had fever, and even today or right now also she is suffering from fever. So the action started in the past and still it is continuing. Next example. I have been waiting. I have been waiting for you for half an hour. He has. He has been. We are supposed to write the correct form of the verb help. So it will be he has been helping his brother with money for 5 years. We have been. We have been fighting. We have been fighting for a long time. She she has been. She has been looking. She has been looking for a job for several months. Now this is an interrogative sentence. We are supposed to use the correct form of borrow. Now with he we use has. So instead of she has, or here also we have written he has been. So these places will be interchanged here in this sentence. So he they have already given. We will just put has here. Has he been borrowing? Has he been borrowing books from you since 2001? Similarly, here also it's an interrogative sentence and therefore these places are interchanged. With they we use have. So instead of writing have they, we will write sorry, instead of writing they have, we will write have they been. Past present participle of do is doing. Have they been doing their work? Next tense is future indefinite tense or simple future tense. Now, future indefinite tense is used to express an action that will take place in the future. This is generally used to denote the future facts. It is used to make predictions. It is used to give spontaneous decisions and also promises, offers, or threats. Now, the rule we use here is very simple. We use will or shall and the first form of the verb. First form of the verb is um, come, then buy, etc. Okay. Also, when we say that we will use will or shall, so when do we use will and when do we use shall? Will is used for second and third person, and first person singular or plural. Shall is used, but now shall is not used much and mostly will is used. So generally if you write will, it will be correct. Sometimes you may write shall and shall is used for only first person singular or plural subjects. Let us see a few examples. I is a first person singular and therefore we can write here shall. We can write here shall. But as I told you, nowadays shall is very rarely used, mostly will is used. So even if you write will, that will be correct. I will. Now base or rather first form of verb is go itself. So I shall go to Delhi or I will go to Delhi. We, again here we can use shall, first person singular. We shall help you with money. Again we, so we can use here shall or we can use here will as also. So we will board the train. We will board the train at 4 o'clock. Will she come in time? Again, will you buy me a coffee. She will marry a rich man. The train will not arrive. Now children, although here we are supposed to make a negative sentence, not is already given, so we do not have to make it still negative and add one more not. Once it is given, so we will not add any more not to it. The train will not arrive on time. Pakistan and India, it doesn't move. Yeah, Pakistan and India will play a match tomorrow. Let us move to the next type of tense, future continuous tense. Now future continuous tense is used to describe actions that are ongoing or continuing in the future, like a future activity. We use the future continuous tense to talk about an action in the future that overlaps another shorter action or a time. Now the rule is very simple for this. Again, the rules are all very simple, children, only you have to learn it. It is will plus be plus present participle of form of the verb, that is ing form of the verb. So will plus be plus ing form of verb, that is we have to use. It is very simple. Whenever we have like has or have, we still have to think what we should write, but then when we know that it has no other option, but we have to write with only we will be ing form of verb, then it becomes all the more simple. Let us see a few examples. John, now our rule is very simple, will be plus ing form. So John will be and painting. John will be painting a picture. I will be by buying. I will be buying a new car. She will be appearing for an exam in May. They will be inviting their friends. Now again, this again location will change and interchange rather in this sentence 5. So it will be, will she be cooking? Will she be cooking the food tonight? Will they be swimming? Will they be swimming in the river? He will not be cheating. He will not be cheating his friends. Okay, very easy. Now moving ahead to the next type is future perfect tense. Now future perfect tense is the tense denoting an action that will be completed before another specific future time or future action. An action will be completed sometime in the future. Future perfect tense is used to express an action which the speaker assumes will have been completed or have occurred in the future. This tense also sometimes used This tense is also sometimes used to express completion of an action in future before another activity happens. Again, children, the rule is simple. Will have plus part, past participle form of the verb, that is the ed form. Will have done, will have said, will have written. Okay, let us see the examples. Yeah. Now, as I told you, the rule is simple. It only says will have and ed form. So she, sorry, will have finished. She will have finished her work in time. The teacher will have distributed the paper. The teacher will have distributed the papers 10 minutes before the exam. They will have wash will be washed their clothes in the morning. I will have handled the situation. He will not have lent. Past tense or ed form of lend is lent. He will not have lent you money. Then the next example, will she have teach taught. The last example, okay, it will be will they have fought. Will they have fought bravely? I hope children you are able to understand it very nicely. Future perfect continuous tense. Now, future perfect continuous tense describes actions that will be continuing up until a point in the future. An activity will be continuing sometime in the future. We use the future perfect continuous tense to show that something will continue up until a particular event or time in the future, for 5 minutes, for 2 weeks, for some since Friday. All are durations which can be used with the future perfect continuous tense. Let us see the rule. Just a minute. Yeah, the rule here is will have been plus ing form of the verb. Will have been dancing, will have been looking, will have been raining, will have been um, eating, that types. Okay, let us see a few examples. So here it will be it will have been and raining. It will have been raining for 2 hours. They will have been living living for many years. Seema will have been learning English since 1980. John will not have been teaching maths for many years. Will she have been in this office? Sorry, will she have been working in this office since 1985? He will not have been knowing you for a long time. The NGO will have been helping the poor for 10 years. Will this tailor have been stitching clothes for the whole family for several years? Now moving ahead with the next type, that is the past indefinite tense. Past indefinite tense represents an action that occurred in the past or a habit of the past. Now the rule is simple. Past form of the verb plus the adverb of time. Now it sounds difficult, but it is very easy. However, in negative and interrogative sentences, did plus base form of the verb is used. Okay. So again we have a different rule for a negative and an interrogative sentence. Rest all it will be past form of the verb, that is ed form of the verb plus adverb of time, and in negative or interrogative sentence it will be did plus base. So it will be did eat, did run. So negative and interrogative is comparatively very simple. Even this is very simple. This will be, we will see the example, so it will be very clear to you all. Now here we are supposed to, in the first blank, India dash independence in 1947. The correct form of get past tense of get is got. So simply we will write here India got independence in 1947. He joined JOINED. He joined government service in 1980. It, now here it is a negative sentence, so we in the rules we have seen that it did not is already given. It did not rain. It did not rain heavily last night. Again, here the position is interchanged. Generally we write he did not. Here we have to write did he not. Rather, did he lend you money? She did not is already given. Agree. She did not agree to my proposal. Why did he become angry with you? The teacher punished. Again, the past participle is punished. The teacher punished the student. He, past tense of go is went. He went for a walk daily. I guess it was really simple. Next tense is past continuous tense. So the past continuous tense refers to a continuing action or state that has happened at some point in the past. An activity in the past, it is generally denoted um, whenever we refer to an activity in the past, it is generally a past continuous tense. Also, an activity in progress when another activity took place. Now the rule here is very simple. Was or were we are supposed to use was or were, and the ing form of verb. Was talking, were drinking, etc. And by now we know when do we use was and when do we use were. We use were for plurals and was for singular. Let us go ahead, see the examples. It was, sorry, was rain, ing form, raining. It was raining in the morning. The man was eating lunch. Why was she weeping? Why was she weeping? She was not washing. Sorry. So she was not washing clothes. Was he eating food? Was the hunter killing birds? He was reading a novel. My grandmother was telling a story. Moving ahead to the next type, that is the past perfect tense. The past perfect tense is used to express actions that occurred in the past and finished before another action in the past started. Now, past perfect form of to have, that is had plus past participle of the verb and words like before, after, when. So these words before, after, when, these will be already there in the sentence. You don't have to use these words, only you have to use the past form of have, that is had. We have to use had plus the past participle, means the ed form of the verb. So like had worked. This type of sentences we will have to make, or these type of sentences are past perfect tense. Let us see a few examples. He had, we have to write, he had killed, sorry, he had killed the tiger before I reached. See, now I told you like the words like before or here all only before sentences only have taken. So before words are already given in the sentences. So his this sentences say that before I reached the location, he had already killed the tiger. So when I went there, the tiger was already killed there. Killed. So here, next example, she had knitted. She had knitted a sweater before I bought a new one. I had borrowed. I had borrowed money from my friend before I received my salary. The river banks had overflown. Sorry, it should be N. Overflown before the NDRF team reached. Had she by bought. Had she bought new dress before the party started? Why had he not met? Why had he not met the PM before? My uncle had not so my uncle had not build built had not built a new house before he retired from service. And the last example is he had he beaten had he beaten you in the race before you defeated him in boxing. I guess the last tense, past perfect continuous tense. The past perfect continuous tense shows that an action that started in the past continued up until another time in the past. For and since are both durations which can be used with such perfect continuous tenses, and the rule is had been plus the verb's present participle, that is the ing form, like had been talking, These type of formations we will make. Let us see a few examples. We had been living in Delhi for 10 years. He had been working in this office since 1990. She had been in this school for 5 years. She had been teaching in this school for 5 years. Had you been looking after? Look after is looking after your brother for 6 years. Who had been helping? Who had been helping you with money all these years? The farmer had not plowed. Had not been plowing the field for 2 years. John had been living in the USA for 6 years. And the last example is she had been suffering from fever for 3 days. So children, here we come to an end of these tenses. It had been a very long video because there are so many tenses, and tenses, as I told you in the beginning, is very important topic. So it was very important for all the concepts to be very clear. Even after seeing this video, if you have any doubts, you can please communicate to me and write a message if you want. At some place, I guess I have made a mistake. I said we is first person singular. It is first person plural, not singular. I'm not finding that. I guess we supposed to use are there, and by mistake I said we is first person singular. It is not a singular, it is a plural, and so we used are with it instead of is. I guess here I'm not very sure, I don't remember. I guess it is here. That's all. Thank you so much children for watching the video.